nations break up amongst the major ethnic groups. Sit at home has ended. The week-long sit at home has ended today. And I want to commend Biafra people. I want to thank you all for 120% compliance. It means that Biafra have shown they are ready to go. I want to assure all of you today that we are just testing the microphone for the Biafra liberation. For those of you who do not understand what the sit-at-home civil disobedience is doing to Nigeria State, I want you to watch this.
The consequences of the continuous sit-at-home on the economy of the Southeast is mind-blowing. According to a report from an International Center for Investigative Report, ICIR, the over 12.215 billion US dollars, or 5.37 trillion, has been lost to the sit-at-home since September 2021. This chilling figure was further corroborated by a study conducted by SBM Intelligence for Development Dev East Foundation Limited, putting the ongoing loss of the Southeast at about 30% of the gross domestic product of the zone's economy. Aside from the terrible state of trunk A roads, which has become a death trap in recent times, transportation and one of the indispensable lifewires of the economy in the region is losing over 10 billion naira for each sit-at-home day. That means that every loss to the Southeast is a gain to the economy of other zones in Nigeria. However, lawmakers from the Southeast region of the country are not leaving any stone unturned in ensuring that the insecurity connected to the sit-at-home of the faction of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB led by Simon Ekpa comes to an end. So joining us now on the show is Ikenga Ngochire, member House of Representatives for Idiato Federal Constituency in Imo State. Great to have you, Ikenga.
Right, haven't watched how the sit-at-home civil disobedience affect the Nigerian Islamic State, as they are preparing and planning how to weaken our strong and very powerful resistance approach using the civil disobedience and many more as we are going multidimensional approach. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to understand this evening that they are planning to weaken the strength in the sit-at-home, and we are going to be strengthening it. Fellow Biafrans, we have now ended a very successful week-long historic sit-at-home for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra referendum. Yet, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still not released. We are not moved. It gladdens my heart to see the level of compliance which is over 100% irrespective of the blackmail and propaganda by the Nigerian State by unleashing their militant and jihadists to attack our people. That's why whenever this sit-at-home is called, we encourage our people to respect it and sit at home, so that Nigeria will not have any reason to use you as a sacrificial lamb. This recent one-week sit-at-home protest ordered by the Biafra Republic Government in Exile through myself, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, saw complete compliance by the Biafra across board. The sit-at-home protest aimed to secure the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and residents of Biafra territory actively participated, demonstrating unwavering support for the cause and recognizing the Biafra Republic Government in Exile as the legitimate and the only legitimate authority of the Biafrans affair. The commercial activity were halted, shops, market, schools, banks, all closed, including military checkpoint, military barracks, police station, police post, the government house, all of them shut down during this protest. Biafra remain resolute on their demand for justice and the restoration of Biafra, with further actions anticipated to gain international support. The sit-at-home protest showcased the unity, commitment, and determination of Biafra people in their pursuit for freedom. For the past 2 years, I want Biafran to know that we have defeated Nigeria. Haven't watched the glimpse or the clip I just played about the effect of our sit-at-home, which they try to manipulate you, that it is only affecting the Southeast, it was only affecting your businesses and all that. it is about economic strangulation of the Nigeria state within Biafra territory, and of course by extension within Nigeria government, the Federal Islamic Government of Nigeria. We therefore give this present Islamic State of Nigeria, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Boko Haram founder Shetima are now running the affair of this illegitimate government of Nigeria. We give them between now till 30th of July to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom their own court of jurisdiction, of competent jurisdiction, have discharged from any charges brought before the court, and also further mandated that no court in Nigeria should be allowed or should have the jurisdiction to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, considering the circumstances under which he was brought back to Nigeria. That particular pronouncement by the court has been violated with impunity, while Boko Haram members are being freed on daily basis. Therefore, until the 30th of July 2023, failing to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I am declaring through the Biafra Republic Government in Exile this day 2 weeks long sit-at-home civil disobedience to commence immediately from the 31st day of July 2023. And I want everyone to pay attention attentively to how this particular sit-at-home will be followed. The 2 week sit-at-home will start from the 31st of July to 14th of August 2023. The same demand on which the first week-long sit-at-home was made still remain the same and stand. This sit-at-home will run through August 14. From 31st of July 2023 to 4th of August 2023, entire Biafra land will be under lock and key. And I want you to understand that from 31st to 4th of July, from 31st July to 4th of August is from Monday to Friday. So, from Monday to Friday, being the 31st of July to 4th of August, entire Biafra territory will be under lock and key. All federal road, everything flying in the air will be locked down. And then after that, we are going to have a 2 days break. This 2 days break is going to be the Saturday, which is the 5th and the 6th of August. You are going to go out to the market, go to church to pray, and do whatever you want to do. Worship your God on Sunday, which is the 6th of August. On Saturday, go to shop, take your groceries, and then from the 7th of August, the sit-at-home commence again. The sit-at-home will then last from 11th of August down to 14th of August 2023. from 7th of August to 11th of August, which is also Monday. 7th of August is Monday, and from Monday to Friday, the entire Biafra land will be under lock and key. Complete lockdown. From 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, entire Biafra will be locked down. And we're going to have break again after the 11th of August. The break is going to be the 12th of August. This is Saturday. You are going to go to the market. You're going to go to the shop. On the 13th of August, you go to church, worship your God, and then on the 14th of August 2023, we have the last day of the 2-week sit at home. As this sit at home is going on, we are activating the complete economic sanction and meltdown in Biafra territory. Our target is to ground and crush the economy of Nigeria within our territory. Believe me, do not worry about Nigeria economy in Biafra land. They never favored you. They have never done anything with the economy to you. They have never built you road. There is no good hospital. There is no good school. You never enjoy any social amenity. You don't have social welfare. You don't have social services. The economy is useless as anything to you. So we are going to crush it because it pains them. And let me tell you, apart from the 2 weeks sit at home, as the sit at home is going on, we are activating the ban and the stoppage of oil exploitation. That is going to be an internal issue. Internal enforcement will begin to take place immediately. We are taking every inch of our territory back by force to ourselves. Having listened to this particular announcement, from tonight, the enforcement on ban on oil exploitation in Biafra land start. To show our readiness to break away from Nigeria. Nigeria never worked again. It will never work. All they do is to import terrorists to kill our people, kill other people in Nigeria, especially in the Middle Belt, where there are majority Christians. They kill them, maim them, and there is nobody like Simon Ekpa in those areas. There's nobody like Biafra agitators in those areas to fight for them. And today, the liberation of Biafra is going to liberate you. So if you are facing this annihilation by the Islamic movement, sponsored by the Nigerian military and police, it is time you support Biafra. The Biafra breakaway will save your life and save your future. To show our readiness to break away and continue to maintain the exit of Nigeria, the exit from Nigeria in 2023, from tonight, we declare every generation of revenue by the Nigeria state within Biafra territory illegal. The revenue generation in Biafra land become illegal. And Biafra people, we are going to enforce it. How we are going to enforce it? It's going to be internal enforcement. You are not going to see it anywhere, but it will be happening. The enforcement of the stop of revenue from Nigeria generating revenue in Biafra territory will stop. And it is going to start from tonight. And I want people to understand, we cannot allow Nigeria to continue to take revenue from our people and kill them. It is not done anywhere. When you generate revenue from people, you protect them. You give them protection. But Nigeria own is different. You generate revenue from our land, use it to buy military weapon, and then you come to our land and burn it. Use it to buy military weapon, you hire militants, pay them with our own money that generated from our land, and pay to people who are jihadists, recruited by Sari Kubo to come to our land to fight. It is not done anywhere. From tonight, we are not only engaging your militant, we are not only engaging your armed group, we are engaging the source of your revenue, and it is going to start from tonight. The sanction will be systematically enforced against the Nigeria state, not to affect any Biafran citizen within Biafran territory. Our target is only and only Nigeria state. The use of Nigeria siren by evil politicians to continue to intimidate our people with siren remain banned in Biafra territory. The use of siren. If you hear we, anytime, anywhere in Biafra territory, you are going to answer to Biafra Liberation Army. The operation of the terrorist group called the Bubago, AVG, militant, jihadists led by Asari and Ifeanyi Oba in Nnewi remain banned in Biafra territory. And we are going to engage them. Any other nomenclature is hereby prohibited. Carrying arms and ammunition to intimidate and harass our market people, that if they didn't obey, if they obey it at home, you are going to kill them. If they obey it at home, you are going to close their market. We are going to engage any armed group that is not protecting the interests of our people. We have not seen the armed group of Ifeanyi Oba going to the bushes to engage the Fulanis that are coming to kill our people. We have not seen the armed group of Ifeanyi Oba to engage kidnappers, criminals that are killing our people in the name of headers. We have not seen them arresting any header. In fact, one of the ugly situations we saw was when two of them kidnapped one of our women for 6 months. They raped her, impregnated her, aborted the baby, impregnated her again, and this particular AVG had the impetus to interview this woman on a TV, on a video, posted it online, only to now, interrogate the perpetrators of this particular crime against our women, that whether have they tortured them, have they touched them, trying to please those who employ them. So they are not representing the interests of our people. They are never fighting crime. The reason they give them gun is to fight against Biafra. And from tonight, it is official. We will begin to engage every Ifa Yoruba armed group. Any place you see them in Biafra land, engage them. Any place. They are banned from tonight. Parading themselves as a Bubago or AVG in Anambra. Within Biafra territory, from tonight, they are banned. I want to thank you all Eastern Security Network Command, all Biafra Liberation Army Command, and other Biafra securities are also to be at alert and await further instructions. Thank you all. We must make sure that we protect our land, protect our women and children, and so they will not suffer what the people in Benue State and other parts of Nigeria are going through today. Our main objective is to make sure that our land is protected. Irrespective of the game and propaganda the governors are playing and trying to do with our struggle, we must not allow what happens here to happen in Biafra land. Liberation Army
militia group invading part of Plateau State have intensified their onslaught in recent times and reported to have killed over 500 people within the last 2 months in Mangu, including women and children, despite presence of security operatives. Addressing newsmen in Jos, the National Association of the Mwagavul people said over 18,000 people have now been displaced and their farms turned into grazing fields by the Heathers.
People refuse to be provoked. It is therefore surprising that our attackers, who have destroyed our villages and killed our people in large numbers, are the ones that are crying most.
Magban had also accused operatives of Operation Rainbow, a state-owned security outfit, of attacking their members in Mangu, but the leadership of the Mwagavul people refuted the claim, calling on President Tinubu to declare them a terrorist group.
We therefore strongly suggest that the federal government should declare Magban a terrorist organization because of the heinous crimes that its members are perpetrating in various parts of Nigeria.
In another development, following an overnight attack in Mangu, which claimed the life of 12 people, the Plateau State Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Nyeka, in company of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Security, General Shipi, had the very difficult task of calming down the youth who were infuriated by the response of security agencies during the attacks.
We are all concerned about what is happening here. We are here to ensure that all the things that are happening here stops.
Sorry, Abeg, there's something I noticed now. This man you are seeing here by the name Bartholomew Onyeka. Bartholomew Onyeka, Igbo man. You see that? Igbo man. When they want to do evil, why is it that the police? All right, Ada Biafra, you are welcome. Ada Biafra, you are welcome.
Yeah, you are blocking me.
No, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, my fellow Biafrans. My dear, I have electricity problem, so I'm at the council's office for them to come and reconnect for my internet. So I'm on the street now.
All right.
You know, for PM yesterday, it was so emotional. You know, The cry is like so many years ago when I traveled to the zoo. As I was going back, I bought this magazine, and Babangida was saying in that magazine, the news, that whenever he is smiling, that people don't know if he's smiling to his enemy, that enemy should be very careful because that smile is very dangerous. So when I saw how emotional our PM was yesterday, I know that that cry was dangerous. Biafrans, we have done everything that we can humanly do to save and defend ourselves. God will protect Onyendu. You know, after that yesterday emotional speech of our PM and everything, I started thinking, and one spirit was telling me that God kept Mazen Nnamdi Kanu aside for Simon to come and take over. Not taking over, meaning that our leader is no longer fighting for us. Otherwise, he would have been released. But he is sticking his gun that it is Biafra or nothing. And the PM is really, really serious, very tenacious in taking us to the promised land. All we need now, to be honest, is not just talking to people every day. We need donation. We need funds. Even if it is $1, it will go a long way. Please, my people, all these things will happen at the appointed time by God. It is not us. We are like vessels that God is using. Is God doing everything? Because I've never seen a young man like Simon, our PM, doing what he is doing. He is very tenacious. He is very determined. He is unwavering. It is unbelievable what a young man like our PM is doing. You know, so I am very grateful. You media team, you are wonderful men. Happy Father's Day to you and the other men. I was not opportune yesterday because of the electricity and power cut in my flat. Because when it happens like that, your internet goes. So, my brother, I wish you and the rest, our Minister Akbarawa and the PM, happy Father's Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are rounding up, but before we go, we are going to go back to that our PM speech yesterday. We've listened to it before because when you listen to that speech, you feel like listening to it over and over and
And
over
over again.
again.
Yes, yes,
Um, Today, so many things are going on. I see them running to Biafra land. They are going to hunt. But when they get there, the hunter become the hunted. I am surprised. The hunt becomes the hunted. The hunter become the hunted.
yes,
I come dey ask wetin dey happen because as they run in mass and went to Biafra land and they fall in mass, some their head were not there again, some their leg no dey, but they fall. They fall.
yes,
When they fall in Ukraine, I've never seen that they fall. As for fall, they fall in numbers. So I want to tell us that our men are doing the needful. They are doing the needful. Whether you believe me, whether you don't believe me, they are doing the needful. The only thing we must do
yes,
and we must keep doing is supporting. We must keep
yes,
supporting. We must keep supporting, doing our own, doing it when we must do it. We will not stop because if we stop, we are gone. I have told us that it's just like our freedom is dangling like this in the air. If you are not ready to get your freedom, the enemy want to take your freedom. And when they get your freedom, you
Yes,
will know what they are saying. You will understand. It's better we fight and keep our freedom. Now with
yes.
everything, UN, the UN peace meeting for Ukraine, they went here, that our PM showed us yesterday. There are things we must mark out there. They said the American vice president said something that is very, very remarkable and touching. She said that the worst, ugliest part of it is that Russia is not calling for dialogue, that Russia is calling for surrender. They are calling for Russia for Ukraine to surrender.
So
And I
for
was
Ukraine to
asking,
surrender, or,
he
or
said,
for Russia to surrender. Who are they calling to
no,
surrender?
Ukraine, no, Ukraine, Russia, the US, the US ambassador, sorry, the US vice president was saying that the Russia, the worst part of it, she said, is that the Russia is not accepting or calling. I think the language is that Russia is not accepting dialogue, but accepting that are calling for surrender. That the U.S. Vice President said that the worst part of it is that Russia is not calling for dialogue, that they are calling for surrender. And now I am asking this question, and I've asked this question before. Have Nigeria ever called for dialogue for once? For once.
Yes, not at all.
They
The
have never
last
called.
video I made, you will see where the Al Jazeera woman was asking the dead Buhari when he was alive. The
Uh,
lady was showing her Biafran boys killed in Aba. That was around 2015 or 2000, thereabout. He said that he doesn't want to see it, that they are children who were not born during the war, so that they don't understand war, what war is all about. And the lady said to her, the reason you should call them is because they are children. Call them and explain to them. He said he doesn't want dialogue because they thought that terrorism is the only way to dialogue. You know, we are calling for dialogue or referendum. That's what Onyendu was calling for. Onyendu was not calling for war. But Buhari refused. The lady said to her, you should call them for dialogue. He said he's not calling anybody for dialogue. So this has been their modus operandi. They always want to terrorize people, and they believe that if they are spying you, because the more they spy people, they will take picture and post it so that other people will be scared. That's their only way of dialogue. So, but now that Biafrans have decided to defend themselves, maybe they are ready for dialogue now. But there's this other prophet, Ijinla, that told them, dialogue now. Time is coming when you will ask these young men for dialogue, and it will be too late. And I think it is too late for them now. We are going home. We have served Nigeria for too long. And what it is that we are just wasting the time we would have used in building Biafra up, in serving Nigeria. So we should go ahead and declare Biafra and build our nation. That's it. Thank you.
okay, thank you so much. So that is it. There has never been any opportunity or given opportunity to dialogue. Let it be that the dialogue fell or the dialogue did not stand. We have never had one. The only one we ever had was the one Nigeria was forced to come to Ghana for, and that one they still abuse. They rejected it. They accepted it too. They accepted it and they were
Yeah,
happy.
Yakubu Gowon accepted it in Ghana. When he
Yeah.
came back to Nigeria in that 1967, they said
Mm,
to him, no, no, no. They don't
mm.
want, because the Fulanis are the minority and they don't always want to be, they always find themselves in a tight corner. So they don't want that position. They always want to take upper hand. And their upper hand is not good for anybody. Killing people or raping women in a country where you don't want everybody to be treated equally is not the best. If they continue to be killing us that way, one day you will come to Biafra land and you will find nobody, and the Fulani will take our land. It's impossible. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. So that's why everybody should be hands on deck with our PM, because our PM is the only way right now. You cannot hear anybody, not the DOS, not those who want to hijack, or anybody at all talking about Biafra apart from our PM. Seriously.
Okay. We are going to be watching the video again for the very last time from now. But I want you to watch out for this point. The US Vice President said that Russia, the saddest or the ugly part of it is that Russia is not accepting dialogue, but they are calling for surrender. Nigeria is not even calling you for surrender. Like I said earlier, all they do, they tell you to accept amnesty. And I asked the question, those people, Shina Saworu, Shike Dozem, and the rest of them, handed over in the name of amnesty. Can you give account of one soul out of them? No, they have all been leveled down like they used to. Maybe level them inside
You,
water, inside the ground, anywhere. I
you,
don't know where they level them down. Yes.
you know what I am also thinking? Playing this America video is all right. It's just to jog people's memory. But the truth is that Biafra issue have started before Ukraine. They don't want to talk about what is going on in Biafra land. If I can tell you this, that the number of people killed in Biafra in a week or in a month is not what you can find in a conventional war like Ukraine and Russia. In 2 months, the people they die in our town or state in a week, the way they massacre people in our land, yet America, that lady, the vice president, she doesn't see it. They all know this. It's because we are not white. That's why they are not. I know I don't like playing a racist card, but that is exactly what it is. The number, every human being is the same. Those Americans, all those wars, what if we start for Biafra is precedent when we go to UN. We can only use it as a precedent. I don't like listening to them because our own started long ago. They started killing us long ago. Do you remember when Americans packed their things 1 December? I think it's 2 Decembers ago, and left. They told their people at Canada, Britain, all of them, they said to their people to come back, that Nigeria is a dangerous destination. Now, what are they doing to save the lives of Biafrans? Like they are preaching for Ukraine. So we can use it as a precedent when we get to UN. We listening to it, we have listened to it. I'm not interested because it's very annoying. Are we not human beings? You see, each time any case that comes up, Israeli Gaza one has been, there has been peace talk. The Russia one now they're calling for peace talk. Why are they not calling for Africa? And they come there to soak themselves in our oil and our gas. What's wrong with them? What do they think? Are we not human beings? Is our own blood not red? So, my dear, I've listened to it. I don't like going through it again because it's very, very evidential that these people are treating us differently. The UN will have the answer to give us when we go there. We will use it as a precedent. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so that is it. And then another thing, the second speaker in that video said something. He said that Ukraine have right to defend their lives and that of their citizens. So the same thing he said is under the UN Charter that you have right to defend your life and of your people. What are the men
That's
on ground
Article
doing today?
51
Is
of
it not the same?
United States, United Nations Charter 51.
Yeah.
Article 50, read it. It gives you right to
Okay.
freedom, right to liberty. Yes.
Mm.
So we are going to apply all these things to when we will be ready to go to UN after 2nd of December. That's when all these things will be compiled. Even Palestinian, the way the UN granted the Palestinian to be a nation, all this will be compiled and they cannot say no.
Hmm.
If they say no, then they are no longer UN. We are going to get Biafra. People will know. It's law. It's law. And Nigeria is signatory to all these treaties. That's why Onyendu jikwa ndị a na blọkọs kịta o. Because court ebugo na Nigeria na Onyendu should be allowed to go. Because far breaching international law and they keep breaching it. So I'm following what the lawyer of Onyendu is saying. They want to sue that director of DSS because he's violating the national and the international law. My dear, happening Niger, they are not going anywhere. Aijifa, we will use
Okay.
it in UN and ICC court when the time comes. So just December 22nd, 2nd, GIA, 2nd of December. Once that declaration is made, I move as a nation. Our UN, our ICC. They are these people are dealing with us like inhumans, as if to say we are not human beings. Very, very bad.
All right. And I went on to make another statement there that is very heavy. Namala Gigi. He said, self-preservation is a must, and they must be protected by all costs. And on this, we must not give up. And in this, there is no room for double standard.
Yes.
Hey,
He was
Asabu.
talking directly to the UN. Yes. He was talking to UN. In fact, PM telling you people yesterday to play those videos is very important. This word you mentioned now is it has finished everything. No double standard.
No
You
double
know,
standard.
he was talking to us.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Preservation of lives is must. Must. Self-preservation
Yes.
must. Let us listen to
Yes.
them. Let us listen to PM Amin to say.
The Netherlands
Okay.
welcome the Prime Minister to the stage for his address.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Very well, sir.
Yes.
There we go. All right, fellow Biafrans in Netherlands, Biafrans all over the world that are watching live this visual tour of the Netherlands today. And the ladies and gentlemen of the press who are watching from different platforms, Biafrans and lovers of Biafrans, over 5,200 watching from the X handle at this point, I welcome all of you. Those who may watch this program later on, today is a very important day, very, very important in our pursuit for our freedom. A very important summit took place, just concluded, the summit on peace in Ukraine. This summit on peace in Ukraine has just ended. And we took our time to watch many speeches, comments, opinions from world leaders. We've also took our time to analyze these speeches from different world leaders, including the speech made by the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. My fellow Biafrans, I would like us to watch few of these clips as on this rock I will build the altar of God. On this speech, comment coming from different world leaders on the just concluded peace summit for Ukraine, I will make my speech today. So the media team, please give us some of these clips and let the Biafrans and the entire world listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'm pleased to hand over the floor to the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, President Ahmed and President Zelensky, for hosting this summit. It is my honor to be here with all of the leaders today. I first met President Zelensky in February of 2022, just 5 days before Russia invaded Ukraine. An outrageous attempt to subjugate a free people and an attempt to wipe a sovereign state off the map. On that same day, I addressed the Munich Security Conference and made clear that the United States of America is a steadfast supporter of the principles that people have a right to choose their own form of government. Nations have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected, and national borders should not be changed by force. And nearly 2.5 years later, I am here to reaffirm the commitment of the United States to these principles and our unwavering commitment to support the people of Ukraine as they defend themselves against Russia's brutal aggression. As I discussed with President Zelensky earlier today, President Biden and I have made clear over the past 3 years, we are committed to uphold international rules and norms, to defend democratic values and stand up to dictators, and to stand with our allies and partners. This approach has provided for our security and prosperity for generations, and it continues to do so today. This approach makes America strong, and it keeps Americans safe. And this approach bolsters global stability. Russia's aggression is not only an attack on the lives and the freedom of the people of Ukraine. It is not only an attack on global food security and energy supplies. Russia's aggression is also an attack on international rules and norms and the principles embodied in the UN Charter. Russia is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. Nevertheless, for nearly 2.5 years, It has shamelessly violated the core tenets of that charter. If the world fails to respond when an aggressor invades its neighbor, other aggressors will undoubtedly become emboldened. It leads to the potential of a war of conquest and chaos, not order and stability, which threatens all nations. President Joe Biden and I will continue to support Ukraine and continue to impose costs on Russia. And we will continue to work toward a just and lasting peace based on the principles of the United Nations Charter and the will of the people of Ukraine. President Zelensky, the United States shares your vision for the end of this war and an end to the suffering of the Ukrainian people. And let us all then commit to the imperative of returning innocent children kidnapped by Russia, returning them to their homes. Let us also agree a practical benefit of the work of this peace summit is to increase global food and energy security. And let nothing about the end of this war be decided without Ukraine. By contrast, however, yesterday, Putin put forward a proposal. But we must speak truth. He is not calling for negotiations, he is calling for surrender. America stands with Ukraine not out of charity, but because it is in our strategic interest. We stand with delegations from more than 90 nations who also have a strategic interest in a just peace in Ukraine. Among us, no doubt, exists a diverse range of views on many of the global challenges and opportunities we face. We don't always agree. However, regarding Putin's unprovoked, unjustified war against Ukraine, there is unity and solidarity in support of international norms and rules. For President Joe Biden and me, it is one of our defining missions to uphold the international rules-based order, to defend it, strengthen it, and promote it. And no doubt it must be a priority for us all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fellow Biafrans, as you all have listened to the Vice President of the United States of America, I would also want the media team to share the screen and play a video from another prominent leader among those who had very important speech at the just concluded summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President of the Swiss Federation, Mr. President of Ukraine. First of all, let me thank you for organizing this important summit. I would like to briefly focus on 4 points. First, international law and UN Charter must be the backbone for a just peace in Ukraine. No matter our continent, history, religion, or skin color, we all share the same guiding compass, and this is the UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense. These principles are universal, and we must uphold them. Second point, this war has one aggressor, and this is Russia, and one victim, the people of Ukraine. And the people of Ukraine, they have the right to defend their children, their homes, and their communities. And it is our collective duty to protect a world based on laws that govern how countries should live together. This full-scale war is more than an attack on the security of Europe, on the idea of Europe. This is an attempt to drag us all back to a darker past, a world of nuclear confrontation, dramatic food insecurity with economic consequences. This war is an odious attempt to replace the force of law with the law of force, and we cannot give up. Russia's threat to use nuclear weapons are completely unacceptable and irresponsible. Russia's reckless actions are driving up the risk of a nuclear incident with consequences for the entire world, and that's why the EU strongly supports the work of the IAEA, Director General Grossi and staff on the ground. Third point, let's be absolutely clear. There is no room for double standards. International law must be protected always and everywhere without any ambiguity in Ukraine, in the Middle East and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility. Lastly, a word about the future. Peace requires dialogue. Any future dialogue with Russia must be based on international law and the UN Charter, and it's up to Ukraine to decide when it may be possible. This war is a direct attack on the global rules-based order. We need a global response. We all have a choice to make. Don't we let the world slide backward, or do we stand strong and go forward towards international law, fundamental principles, and the UN Charter? We made our choice. The future is up to us. You can count on the EU. Slava Ukraini.
My fellow Biafrans all over the world, the viewers, ladies and gentlemen, you have listened to what I say the most important speech in this summit. And on this note, I would also want the media team to play the video, the interview, just few minutes interview of Musa. Musa is the chief of the terrorist army staff of Nigeria. Thank you.
What is the major issue? The military is now so much involved in internal policing. It does look like you're being taken away from your primary assignment and you are doing secondary and leaving the primary. What would you say is your major problem military-wise?
Thank you very much. I'm really very happy to be here, and it's good to be with this forum today. Well, I think as Nigerians, first and foremost, we need to take ownership of what's going on in the country. And when I say ownership, it is not the time for us to start trading blames on who to do it. We are dealing with asymmetric warfare, which is a new kind of warfare. It's different from the conventional term, and that's what we want to make very clear. Conventional warfare is between country to country. Now, asymmetric warfare, you are dealing with non-state actors, people you don't know, people that are your own. I give you some examples. Sometimes when we go on cordon and search operations, the same village you get in, they hide the weapons, catch them, they don't have anything, and you proceed. And they dig out these weapons and fire you from the rear. It is difficult because you don't even know who is your enemy. Everybody is an enemy. There is no front. Everywhere, and is a front as long as much as possible. Now, the challenges we're having is that understanding. I'm happy that it is changing.
Thank you very much for that particular clip. And then, of course, I want you to also play the last one. And all I want to hear is when that question was asked, are you worried? Thank you.
You worry because an operation, you have a special operation on the sit-at-home IPOP situation in the southeast.
Yes.
But some of the elements and the leaders of these groups
take it back,
outside of the country.
again. Yes. Take it back again.
We have repeatedly supported them.
Take it
the
back
issue
from the
of IPOP. There's a lot of funding that comes in there.
Yes. Are you worried?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you worried? Because
yes.
Are you worried? Because an operation,
of course,
you have a special operation.
Thank you very much. I don't take it off yet. I want every Biafran, every person who is reasonable listening to this particular video today to pay attention. The question they asked was, are you worried?
So, and if you listen very attentively, he responded, of course, I'm worried. Play it again, please, because, you know, there was talk over, you know, the video, and so Femi was talking and his voice did not come out. A lot of people did not pay attention. He admitted that, of course, I'm worried. I want you to play it again, please. And pay attention.
Funding that comes in there.
CDS.
Yes.
Are you worried? Because you know an operation.
Of course.
There's a lot of funding that comes in
Take it
there.
back again.
CDS.
So that everybody will listen to it.
Because you know an operation.
There's a lot of funding that comes in there.
CDS.
Yes.
Are you worried? Because you know an operation.
Of course, definitely.
Thank you very much. All right. We can start from here. My fellow Biafrans, those who have paid the biggest price for being one Nigeria until we come on board, I congratulate you. Those of you who did not give up when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya in 2021, I congratulate you. Those who stood their ground to fight and trusted some of us, I congratulate you. I want you to understand that we have defeated Nigeria. And Nigeria can never rise again. From the speech of the Vice President of the United States of America and the person that spoke on behalf of the American state, I have the following information to give to the Biafra people. I want you to understand that in Biafra, Africa died, and in Biafra, Africa will rise. This summit was directly and indirectly meant for Biafra people, as it reaffirms and justifies our right as a people and our actions towards the fight against Nigeria terrorist state aggression. Though it was called Ukraine Summit, but everything that was said was directly referring to your situation under Nigeria occupation. Even though there is a connotation of Nigeria as a sovereign state, which was never discussed and negotiated with anyone, including the Biafra people. From the speeches and the clips you've just watched, the United Nations, the world leaders have indirectly validated Biafra Liberation Army in our quest to protect and preserve the life of the Biafra people. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders made it very clear that self-preservation is a must. They use the word must. And it should be protected at all costs. At all costs. Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, Nigeria have tried everything to destroy and annihilate Biafra people, and we must protect and preserve ourselves at all costs. They were referring to Biafra, even though the summit was about Ukraine. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders told us today, and they made it very clear in the summit, as they define the United Nations Charter in a very clear term through their submissions, confirming that Biafrans are acting within the legal framework of international law. My fellow Biafrans, I want the Nigeria terrorist state to listen to this. The world leaders has opened up that even they themselves have no right to violate or act outside the charter, which has been agreed by all nations who are party to it. But the same charter that they have agreed they will never violate, Nigeria has violated it with impunity. And Nigeria is a signatory to the same charter that they said can never be violated by killing those who they claim to be their citizens in Biafra land, kidnapping Biafrans and enforcing their disappearances for many years, unchallenged, is a violation of this Charter of the United Nations with impunity. And today, we are resisting them. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to understand that the world leaders at this summit also made it very clear. They made us to understand that currently, in the case of Biafra, even though they are sitting idle and watching, it in fact violates the section of the United Nations Charter, which has assigned a responsibility to them to act in accordance to protect or the protection of human rights, especially the right of Biafrans within Nigeria state. They are waiting for this war that you listen to the Chief of Army Staff claiming that they are at war. Do you not understand that they are at war in Nigeria? Do you not understand that Biafra and Nigeria is already at war? When Musa told you that they are going to retaliate, a lot of people are surprised. You will be asking yourself, retaliating with who? Against who? He has made it very clear that this is a war, a very difficult war, asymmetric war, which means they are at war with everybody in Biafra land because they don't know who the enemy is. You are waiting for these people to annihilate us before you support the liberation of Biafra. You may be a victim. This submission of Musa is a clear declaration of war, and he called it asymmetric war, which means if anything happens, everybody becomes a target. And that's why they are using the word retaliation. And that's why they will never go after those who attack them. They attack innocent people because they are now officially in asymmetric war. My fellow Biafrans, the United Nations and world leaders at this summit also reaffirmed that fight against Russia should be applied anywhere in the world where human rights has been violated. To this particular submission by the world leaders in this summit, we call on the United Nations, we call on the attention of the United Nations that Nigeria should not be exempted in this particular submission. Nigeria has violated all human rights laws. They have violated all international laws. All United Nations resolution on human rights has been violated by Nigeria. They have also violated with impunity the right to self-determination as enshrined in U.S. Constitution and the United Nations Charter. My fellow Biafrans in Netherlands and those who are privileged to watch this particular address today by myself as the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and the Biafra de facto government in Homeland. The world leaders reminded us in the clips we watch, and I encourage everybody to go and pay attention. I just wish it was the time I do analysis. They reminded us, Biafrans, that we need to fund this self-defense against a dictator, tyranny, a terrorist state who have taken up the war against innocent women and children in Biafra land. They are telling you, you must fund your self-defense like never before. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet. And we have come to resist it. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. That's why it is very important that every Biafran all over the world, anywhere you are, irrespective of whether you like Samonekpa or not, the defense and the liberation of Biafra, it is now or never. That is where we are different. And that's why we are the government of Biafra. It is our responsibility to take it up according to the submission of these world leaders in the Ukraine Peace Summit. Protect Biafra people. I want you to understand that Nigeria can never win this war. Call it asymmetric war, call it jungle welfare, call it whatever name you want to call it. We have seen Musa calling it a jungle welfare. We have also seen him saying they are in asymmetric war. And it is a difficult one because you don't know who is the enemy. Everybody's the enemy. Sometimes they go to the place and people shoot them from the back. And that's why they are retaliating against the people. And Nigerians, those who call themselves Nigeria, do not understand that Nigeria is at war with Biafra. The only point I'm trying to make you understand today is that Musa has explained that we are at war, and he called it asymmetric war. What else do you want to know? The question was, they left primary responsibility and handling the secondary responsibility. Nigeria is at war, and the military are laying siege the place they believe the war is taking place. Where is that? Biafra land. You as a Biafra person, if you refuse to fund this liberation today, you or your family will be a victim. Because whether you believe in Samonekpa, whether you believe in the Biafra government or not, you are already an enemy. By the submission of Musa, your family are also the enemy. In the asymmetric war that they have declared against us, your family could be the one they will retaliate on, because we cannot put our hand. We've already taken up arms, like everybody knows. So asymmetric war, where they don't know who is the enemy, at the same time declare every Biafra enemy. You are already caught in the cobweb. The earlier you come to support this liberation, the better for you. And this is also to give the kudos to the Biafra Liberation Army for having defeated Nigeria with our little resources. I have followed all social media analysis on the video, but this particular, yes, I am worried. Nobody picked it up because Shehu was talking and, the voice was covering it. So everybody should go and listen to Musa admitting he is worried because we have defeated them. Today, the Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land. And we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint where the enforcements of Biafrans are taking place, disappearance of Biafrans are taking place every day. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die at that checkpoint, because we have died enough in the same checkpoint. We have disappeared enough in the same checkpoint, and we are now pushing back and fighting back, and nobody's going to stop us. Ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume. Ọ na-eme
ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume. Ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị na-adịghị ekwe omume ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume
Who would ever believe that today Biafra army have visited Nigeria and they are having
Obatobie
tried for many years. Today, we will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. That's my promise for them. I told them, oh my God, here is not taken. I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come.
Odogu, I turn into beast with you.
May God bless all of you. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Oh my God!
And all the
even within a bogid,
Ada Biafra, I don't know if you have any final submission before we go.
Thank you so much. Yes, my submission is just to summarize everything that our PM has said it all. Very emotional, and the crowd, the way they responded and cheered up. Some of us are still sitting on the fence, I know. People like the one here abusing himself. I told you to remove him. He's still there. Michael Chick. Michael Chick. I'm sure this person is not in Biafra land. Let him go home now. He's not in Biafra land. To know what his brothers are suffering. You know, some people are very funny and very cheeky. Everything happening in the whole zoo. Who is causing it is the question that we all know. We have to be focused and remain that focused. Biafra is here. It's barely 6 months now, or 5 months and some weeks before December 2nd. Michael Chinks and the rest of them. Thank you, Biafrans, for joining and for always coming whenever we are up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ada Biafra. Okay.
You are welcome.
Okay. Ada Biafra Mesakaiku. Okay. You have the mic. Iwu nu nke ahụ iwu ndewo
Chineke a na-ekwu nke imeri ime ọzọ Chukwuka bịa n'ite ebube because one thing is that when they would take thought that he is wise, there is all the corner to do something to make people cry. It's not just once to make them cry. Even the Bible said that when you pass on through all kinds of evil, if your hands are clean, be happy because the reward you will have will surpass that pains you have passed through. That is what we are passing. When my mommy said that we are passing through more than what these Ukrainians are passing through. Yes, we understand it, but you see, there is difference between good and those ordinary things. We are good, and before good will become good, it will pass through a lot. And even our leader has been saying it, that our freedom will be a freedom that will escalate to other parts of Africa. So it's not an easy journey. This journey, we must be the one, even our people said it, that it's the war before us, and from us, so Africa will fall from us, and so shall Africa rise from us. So because of this, all this should be our faith and our that is the mind that will make us to continue to move without fear. In fact, from me, I'm very happy for what has been happening because what the devil thought he will use to destroy us, he's using it to make us better and better. This summit now is another big asset. How will Nigeria survive it? How will they survive it? What you have seen that the judgment that was not meant for all have already judged on our behalf. And so when they say, even if it cannot be handled in Africa, if it goes out to international, what will they say? Would it be a shame that after saying that this is the reality, which you know, will you go back and start saying another thing? It's not possible now. That's why our BM is like, we was very happy because when will they start to drag this issue? No way. That's why even by holding our leader, they don't know what to say because you have already ashamed yourself, and by bringing it out to public to say anything will put you in more shame. That's why everybody is calm. But finally, as God is planning all this for us after this second, I know that victory will be ours forever. All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra. Airborne. Ndewo. Okay. Biafrans, like I used to say before, like I said earlier, eba na do one word nod, ka one word na muti here. UN is UN. UN is not for EU. UN is for everybody. You know, when they tell you that you are not originally Africa, you don't want to understand that Africa is a name of a Spanish or Italian, or I've forgotten if it is Italian man or Spanish man that used to live in our area. Something Africano, something Kulu, something Africano. And Africa was our area, our land was changed into his name. The same way Nigeria was. Everything about us is being given to us. A name of one man, we were all deceived or forced into taking it. But it is good because Biafra is coming. And for those of us that think Biafra started existing before or just in 1976, 1967, I mean to say, you are not well educated or informed about it. Biafra, the name Biafra, have been existing long in 40s, in 20s, in 20s, in 18 something, in 16 something, Biafra have been existing. That was why when we tell you, and those people that are telling you, I'm not a Biafra, I'm not a, you ask them, Biafra, what is Biafra? Franco Biku, like they told you, did not form or formulate or bring up Biafra. No, he got Biafra from the name already existed called Bite of Biafra, which today they have changed because Biafra is involved. Hatufu Biafra. Go give them name. Go give them Gulf of Guinea instead of Biafra. Do you know you have Bite of Benin before? Umokoko. You don't know where Bite of Benin dey. That one at the program where we say if I talk, I will go cause commotion. Go and search your history. Find out where the Bite of Benin. Unde Benin Sena Heso na Biafra. Go and find out yourself. Where was the Bite of Benin and what is it now? We must continue. Biafra or nothing. We end this program here. I want us to remember everything happening for our good in as much as you keep supporting yourself in this struggle, in as much as you are remaining part of this program, in as much as you are pushing it the way, whether you are part of those that are blackmailing, keep blackmailing if you don't want to repent. And if you are part of those that have been pushing it to stand, continue. Yes, I can see you, Dream Queen. Thank you so much for coming, and every one of us here in this program this evening. I greet you, and I see Owen. Owen Pala say he come late. No problem. No problem. You go back and listen, because it's not only this our PM video. There was the other PM video that we watched. Prophet Bishop of the Most High God is here. Okay, Bishop of the Most High here. We are now 3 hours here. We have spent 3 hours here. So all you need to do, you go back and watch the video from beginning. There's another PM old State of Nation broadcast we featured here. Very interesting. So Biafrans, we must continue. And I go say thank you, Ona, wello. So Ada Biafra, I don't know whether you want to say bye-bye, because now go with the go so.
Okay, unmute me. Have you unmuted my mic?
We are listening. We are hearing you.
Okay. My fellow Biafrans, wonderful people, lovers of freedom. I love you all. You're wonderful people. Very, you know the strength we use in building Nigeria, and they refuse to remain like a country that is very humane. Now we have to use that strength to build Biafra. Thank you people so much for joining us. I love you all. Remain blessed, and we move. All hail Biafra.
To Simon Ekpa, who's doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic. To Simon Ekpa, who's doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.